starving in the alley. The city of Tharvan was filled with noise, smoke, and strange alien languages. It was a place where humans were rare, and kindness was even rarer. Liam, a young human traveler, walked slowly through the crowded streets. His boots were dusty and his face tired. He had been working as a ship repairman for weeks, saving just enough food to last a few days. He passed tall buildings made of black crystal, glowing signs and alien symbols, and vendors shouting about strange fruits and tools. But Liam wasn't looking to buy anything today. He was looking for a quiet place to rest. As he turned into a narrow alley behind the marketplace, he heard something. A soft sound. A whimper. Liam stopped. He listened, again. It was a baby, crying, weakly. He walked deeper into the shadows, heart beating faster. Behind a pile of old metal and broken crates, he saw something that made him freeze. A woman, not human, definitely alien. She had soft gray skin with pale silver markings across her cheeks. Her clothes were torn and dirty. She was crouched on the ground, arms wrapped around a small baby. The baby's skin was blue and thin. It wasn't crying anymore. It was barely breathing. The alien woman looked up at Liam, her eyes wide with fear. She pulled the baby tighter, as if to protect it from him. "I'm not here to hurt you," Liam said softly, raising both hands. Is the baby okay?" She didn't answer. Her lips trembled. She looked too weak to speak. Liam slowly knelt beside them. He could see that her body was shaking. She hadn't eaten in days. Her baby. Probably longer. "Are you hungry?" he asked gently. Still no answer. Only silent tears ran down her gray cheeks. Liam reached into his pack. He only had one ration bar left, dried protein, hard as rock, but it was food. He broke it in half, then offered a piece to the woman. She stared at it, then at him. Her hands trembled as she took it. The moment the food touched her mouth, she gasped and burst into tears. The baby gave a soft cry too, sensing something changing. Liam watched as she held the food like it was gold. She broke a small piece and pressed it gently to the baby's lips. The baby sucked on it weakly. The alien mother cried even harder. It was the sound of a heart that had been broken for too long. Now, finally feeling hope. Liam sat on the cold ground beside them. "What's your name?" he asked. She shook her head slowly. "Name? Gone," she whispered, her voice thin like wind. "No one calls me anything now." Liam's chest tightened. "Okay, then I'll call you something. You need a name. How about Mira?" She looked at him, surprised. "Mira," Liam said, again with a smile. "It means light." A long silence. Then she nodded slowly. "Mira," she whispered, as if trying to remember how it felt to be called something kind. She looked down at her baby and whispered again. "He was hungry for 2 days. I had nothing. They wouldn't give us anything. They said we were cursed. Bad luck." "Who?" Liam asked. "My clan," she said. "They threw me out after my mate died. Said the child was born wrong, too weak. Said we would bring shame." Liam clenched his fists. "That's not right." Mira nodded slowly. "No one helped. No one. Until you." Liam looked around. The alley was dark and dangerous. If they stayed here, they'd freeze or be found by the wrong people. "You can't." "Stay here," he said. "It's not safe." She shook her head. "We have nowhere." "You have me now," Liam said firmly. "Come on, I'll find a place. You need food, real food. And your baby, he needs help." She looked at him, unsure. Liam stood and held out his hand. "Please, trust me." After a moment, she slowly reached out and took his hand. Her fingers were cold, her grip weak, but it was enough. As Liam helped her stand, the baby gave a soft, tiny coo. It was the first sound of peace he had made in days. They began to walk out of the alley, back toward the light of the street. But far above them, on a rooftop, someone watched. A shadowy figure pressed a button on a small device. A red light blinked. Target found. The story. She hid Liam had taken Mira and her baby to an old rest shelter near the city's edge. It wasn't much, just a broken storage room with a rusty roof and half-working lights, but it was dry, quiet, and safer than the alley. He found an old blanket and gently wrapped the baby in it while Mira rested, leaning against the wall with closed eyes. Liam sat across from her, watching as she slowly chewed the last bite of the ration bar he had shared. She hadn't said much since they left the alley, but now with warmth in her chest and her baby sleeping softly, Mira finally looked at him, truly looked. "You are human," she said quietly. Liam nodded. "Yeah, that's a problem?" She shook her head. "No, it's strange. Humans are not known here. Most are sent back, some are sold, few stay." "I guess I'm one of the few," Liam said with a small smile. "Worked on starship engines. My last job ended badly, so now I just wander." Mira looked down at her baby. "You saved us, you didn't have to." "I couldn't walk away," he said. "No one should starve like that, especially not a child." She closed her eyes and exhaled slowly. "My name, it's not Mira, but I like Mira. Let me keep it." Liam nodded. "Then Mira it is." There was a long pause. Then she spoke again, voice lower. "My real name was taken the day my mate died. They called me widow. Nothing more. They blamed me." "Blamed you for what?" Liam asked. "They said I brought bad luck. My mate died during a royal mining operation. The tunnel collapsed. Only he died. I was pregnant with the child. They called the child cursed." "That's cruel," Liam said. She touched her baby's cheek gently. "They pushed me out of the clan lands, said I could try my luck with the dirt folk or the scrapyarders. But, unhelped, I begged for food, I offered work. They turned their backs." Liam looked at her closely. "There's something else, isn't there?" Mira hesitated. Then she whispered, "They weren't just scared of bad luck. They were scared of the baby's blood." Liam frowned. "What do you mean?" "My mate. He was of royal line. Not pure royal, but enough. The blood mixes with mine. And now, the baby's blood could awaken something old. Ancient law. They feared it." Liam sat up straighter. "Are you saying your baby is heir to something?" She nodded slowly. "Maybe. Maybe nothing. But to the clan elders, the risk was enough. If he grows and survives, others may follow him, rebels, bloodline seekers. He could become a symbol." Liam's heart started to race. "That's why they wanted you gone. That's why they would kill him if they found us again," Mira said. Silence filled the shelter. Suddenly, a crackling noise echoed from outside. Liam moved fast, hand on his old utility knife. He peeked through the door. 2 guards passed by, their helmets glowing red. They didn't stop, but they were scanning, searching. Mira shrank back, clutching her baby. "They're looking for us," she whispered. "Then we don't stay here," Liam said quickly. "We leave tonight." "Where?" she asked, fear rising in her voice. "There's an old cargo zone on the south side," he said. "Humans used it years ago. No patrols. We hide there for now. I know some tunnels that lead under the city. Quiet routes." Mira looked at him with wide eyes. "Why are you doing this?" Liam paused. "Because someone has to. Because if I were starving in an alley, I'd want someone to stop." Mira stared at him for a long time, then said, "You're different, Liam. I've never met anyone like you." He smiled faintly. "Let's keep it that way." She let out a weak laugh, a sound she hadn't made in months. "If they find us, they will kill you too." "They can try," Liam said. But they'll learn something else about humans. We don't run when it matters. Mira watched him in the flickering light, holding her sleeping child close. For the first time in a long time, her fear faded, just a little. But deep in the shadows outside, another figure waited. A small device blinked in their hand. Coordinates locked. Human interference detected. The hunt had begun. Trouble in the market morning came with a pale sun and cold wind. Liam had barely slept. He kept waking up to every sound outside the shelter. Drones, footsteps, distant voices. Mira was already awake, holding baby Solon close, gently humming something in her language. Her voice was soft and sad but calming. Liam watched her for a moment before speaking. "We need supplies," he said quietly. "Food, water, maybe warm clothes." Mira looked nervous. "Too dangerous. I'm marked. If they see me, I'll go alone," Liam offered. She shook her head. "No. You won't know what to buy. Our baby needs specific milk. The wrong kind could hurt him." Liam hesitated, then nodded. "Then we go together. Hood up, head down. No talking unless needed. Trust me." Mira wrapped herself in an old gray cloak Liam had found and covered the baby inside it. She kept her head low as they moved through side alleys. The marketplace was large, loud, and full of colors, but danger hid behind every smiling merchant. As they entered, Mira whispered, "Stick to the dirt side stalls. The rich side scans all visitors." Liam nodded and led her toward the quieter corner of the market where traders dealt in leftover goods, cracked tech, and regrown food. They passed a stall selling power cells when a rough voice barked, "Hey, you, what's under that cloak?" Liam turned slowly. A guard in bronze armor stepped forward. His helmet scanned the air, red lights blinking. "My child?" Mira said softly, eyes down. "He's sick," the guard scoffed. "So what? You can't cover your face in a trade zone." "She's shy," Liam said quickly. "I'm with her, just buying food." The guard's scanner focused on Liam's face. "Human." Liam swallowed. "Yeah." The guard stepped closer, looking amused. "Didn't know they let humans beggars shop here now." Mira gently turned her body, shielding Solon. "Move along," the guard said. "You stink up the air." Liam clenched his fists but held his tongue. "Yes, sir." They walked away, heads low. Mira whispered, "They recognize something." "We're fine," Liam lied, but they weren't. As they reached a quiet spice stall, Mira carefully picked out small packets of grain milk and dried fruit bits. Her hands moved quickly, expertly. She clearly knew what Solon needed. The alien. Merchant, an old three-eyed female, looked them over and whispered, "You shouldn't be here, widow." Mira froze. "I heard what they say about your boy," the merchant added. "That he glows in the dark. That he'll wake the old laws." Liam stepped forward. "She's paying. Just take the credits." The old merchant narrowed her eyes, but accepted the payment and handed over the goods. "You didn't hear it from me," she whispered, "but there are eyes everywhere. Your faces are already in the patrol links." Liam's stomach sank. "Thank you." They moved fast, slipping through the side paths. Mira's breathing grew heavier. Solon let out a tiny cough. Almost out. Almost safe. Then a shout behind them. "Stop them!" Liam turned. A pair of guards ran toward them, scanners active. One held a stun baton. The other pulled out a control collar. "They've seen you." Mira gasped. "Run!" Liam shouted, grabbing her hand. They raced through the narrow alleys of the marketplace, knocking over crates and barrels. Merchants yelled, goods spilled, and guards chased close behind. Solon cried out inside the cloak. Mira stumbled. Liam caught. Her pulled her up and kept moving. He spotted a dark doorway behind a stack of old crates. "In there!" he shouted. They ducked inside, a back room of an old vendor booth. The walls were lined with rusted shelves and old cables. Liam pulled a heavy tarp over them, then held his breath. Footsteps thundered past. Voices shouted, but no one stopped. Mira pressed a hand over Solon's tiny mouth, calming him. They waited, in silence for minutes that felt like hours. Finally, the noise faded. Mira's body was trembling. Liam looked at her. "Are you okay?" She nodded slowly. That was close. Liam reached into his bag, handed her a small water packet. As she drank, he asked, "What did that merchant mean? Patrol links?" "She means our faces are in the city grid," Mira whispered. "We've been marked. They want the baby." Liam stared at her. "Then we can't hide in the city anymore." Mira looked up. "Where will we go?" Liam took a deep breath. "There's a transport yard outside the city wall, smuggler routes. If we reach it, we can leave Tharvan." "And go where?" Mira asked, exhausted. "Anywhere they can't find you," Liam said. "Anywhere Solon can grow up free." Mira didn't answer. She just pulled Solon close, kissed his head, and whispered something in her ancient language. Then she looked at Liam with tired, hopeful eyes. "Let's go." Hunted and hurt. The sun was setting behind the black towers of Tharvan, painting the sky in deep violet. Liam tightened the strap on his travel pack and helped Mira into a long, ragged cloak. The baby, Solon, was wrapped tightly to her chest, quiet but breathing steady. They moved fast through the back alleys, following a narrow tunnel that led beneath the old cargo rails. Liam had studied the city maps weeks ago, hoping one day he'd leave this place. He never expected he'd be running for his life, or protecting a hunted alien child and his mother. "The patrols are thicker today," Mira whispered, her voice low and shaky. "I can feel them." "They know we escaped," Liam replied. "Now they want to make sure we don't again." Suddenly, a low mechanical hum echoed through the tunnel. Red lights flickered on the far wall. Liam yanked Mira behind an old steel crate. A drone slid past, scanning the area slowly. Liam pressed his back to the wall, heart pounding. He looked at Mira. "We have to be faster." They made it past the lower levels and reached an open cargo yard, abandoned long ago when space freighters stopped coming to Tharvan's lower port. Now it was home to thieves, scavengers, and worse. As they crossed the yard, Mira's legs gave out. She fell to her knees, gasping, still holding Solon. "Mira!" Liam knelt beside her. "I'm fine, just tired," she whispered. "No, you're not," Liam said firmly. "You haven't slept in 2 days, and you've barely eaten." "I can't stop now," she said. Liam shook his head. He gently lifted Solon from her arms and secured the baby to his chest using a cloth wrap. Then he helped Mira up, supporting her with one arm. "You carry him?" she asked, weakly surprised. "I told you," Liam said with a soft smile. "He's not just yours anymore." Mira blinked fast, fighting tears. But before she could say more, a sharp sound sliced through the air. Clang! A bolt struck the metal just inches from Liam's head. "Get down!" he shouted, diving behind a supply crate with Mira. From the far wall, dark figures began to emerge, 4 of them. Bounty hunters. One had metal arms. The other wore goggles that glowed green. Another held a scanner and shouted, "We've got a match. Human and female target confirmed." Liam pulled out the old blaster he kept in his pack. It was barely working, but it would buy time. "Take this," he told Mira, handing her a backup power cell. "If I tell you to run, you go, no questions." "I'm not leaving without Solon," she said firmly. "Then hold on," Liam growled. Blaster fire lit the air. Liam fired back, aiming low. He wasn't a soldier, but he could slow them down. A blast hit the crate beside them, sending sparks flying. Mira screamed, clutching Solon. "Move!" Liam grabbed her hand and darted to the next cover. One of the hunters launched a small seeker drone. It zoomed after them. "We need to get underground," Mira shouted. "There's a drainage shaft near the wall." Liam pointed, but before they could reach it, one of the bounty hunters leapt from the crate and tackled Liam to the ground. "Got you now, human trash," the hunter snarled. Mira screamed, backing away as the man raised his stun rod. Liam twisted, hard-kicked the hunter off and punched him in the side. The hunter's helmet cracked, but Liam was bleeding now, from his arm and his side. He stumbled. The other hunters were closing in. Mira stood frozen, her eyes wild with fear. She looked down at Solon, who whimpered softly. Then she did something unexpected. She stepped forward, holding her child high. "Stop," she screamed. "If you harm him, the bloodline ends forever." The hunters hesitated. One of them frowned. "What do you mean?" "He carries royal blood," Mira shouted. "Mixed lineage. If you kill him now, you destroy centuries of law." The hunters paused. Some looked unsure. Liam gritted his teeth. "Now, Mira." She threw down the power cell Liam had given her, straight at the seeker drone. Boom. A flash of light and static burst through the air. In the chaos, Liam grabbed Mira's arm and pulled her toward the shaft. They slid down into darkness, landing hard on wet stone. Above them, the hunters shouted, but they didn't follow. Not yet. Deep. In the underground tunnels, Liam collapsed against the wall, breathing hard. His side was bleeding. Mira knelt beside him, her hands glowing softly with old healer energy as she pressed over his wound. "You saved us again," she whispered. "You were brave too." Liam smiled weakly. Mira looked at him through the dark. "You bled for a child. That isn't even yours." Liam touched Solon's tiny hand. "He is now." The human promise. The tunnels beneath Tharvan were wet, cold, and filled with echoes of forgotten footsteps. Liam limped forward, his arm around Mira, while Solon slept quietly on his chest. Every now and then, water dripped from above and tapped against stone. It was the kind of place where people disappeared, and no one asked questions. Liam's shirt was soaked in blood, but he kept walking. "You should rest," Mira whispered. "You're wounded." "I can rest when you're both safe," he said through clenched teeth. She paused. "Why? Why do this for me? For him?" Liam stopped and leaned against a wall. He looked at Mira with tired eyes. "When I was 10, he said, I watched my mother give her last piece of bread to a stranger, a starving woman on the edge of our colony. I asked her why. Mira listened quietly. She said, if I ever die, I want someone out there to feed you when you're hungry, so I feed others now." Mira swallowed hard. "I promised her," Liam continued, "that I'd always help someone if I could, even if it costs me." Mira looked down at Solon. "And now you carry my child in your arms like he's your own." Liam smiled. He's part of the promise now. Hours later, they found a hidden shelter, an old human emergency pod lodged beneath the city sewer vents. The door was rusted, but Liam forced it open. Inside, it smelled like old metal and dust, but it was dry. Safe. He gently placed Solon on a cloth pillow and collapsed beside him. Mira knelt beside Liam, tore a strip of fabric from her cloak and pressed it against his side. She whispered words in her old tongue, healing words. Her hands glowed faintly and Liam winced as the pain burned, then eased. "You're still a healer," he said weakly. "I was trained to fix bodies," she replied. "But I forgot how to mend hope until I met you." They sat in silence, the only sound Solon's soft breathing. Then Mira said something strange. "You should leave us behind." Liam blinked. "What? If they catch us, you'll be tortured or killed. You're human. They'll make an example out of you." "I don't care," he said, his voice low. "I do," she said. "You have a life, a future. My child, I'll find a way. I've done it before." Liam shook his head. "No." "Why?" Mira asked again. "Why not run? Why not let me go?" Liam slowly reached out and took Solon's hand in his. "Because he smiled at me today," Liam said. "It was just for a second, but I saw it. I mattered to him." Mira stared. "And you," Liam added, "you still have the fire. Even after all the pain, you keep going. If I leave now, I break the promise I made to her, to myself, to both of you." Mira looked away, eyes glistening. "You're not just kind, Liam," she said. "You're stubborn, He laughed weakly. I've been called worse. She touched his hand gently. Then I'll stop trying to push you away. From now on, we survive together. Later that night, Mira stepped outside to collect condensation water from the sewer pipes. Liam stayed inside with Solin. As he rocked the baby gently, Solin reached up and touched Liam's chin. It was a tiny hand, soft and trusting, and Liam whispered, I won't let them take you. Ever. Suddenly the shelter lights blinked. Then again, Liam stood up fast. Mira rushed back inside. I saw movement near the drain wall. Liam grabbed his bag, slung Solin across his back. We need to move. But before they could escape, a voice echoed from the tunnel. Surrender the child. It was mechanical, cold. A patrol bot. Mira's face went pale. The bot stepped into view. Silver body, red lens eyes, and the royal crest on its shoulder. You are harboring a threat to blood. Order, it stated. Surrender now and face exile. Refuse and face elimination. Liam stood in front of Mira and Solin. No, he said. The bot raised its blaster. Mira stepped beside him. You'll have to kill us both. The bot processed for a moment, then began to charge. Suddenly, boom, a pipe above the tunnel burst, slamming water into the bot. Sparks flew as it short-circuited and collapsed. Liam turned and saw a shadowy figure on the high ledge, an old human scavenger with a wrench in hand. He saluted Liam with a crooked grin. Go, he shouted. You've got 30 seconds. Liam didn't wait. He grabbed Mira's hand, tightened Solin's wrap, and ran. A shelter in the fire zone. They ran. Their feet pounded over cracked tunnels and steaming pipes as smoke rose from the collapsing sewer behind them. Mira held Liam's arm tightly while Liam kept baby Solin strapped to his back. The baby was silent, but his tiny warmth gave Liam strength. Above them, alarms howled across Tharvan's slums. The patrol bot's signal had gone dead, but backup would come soon. Liam knew it. We can't keep running forever, Mira gasped, coughing from the smoke. We just need to make it to the surface, Liam said. I know a place. They reached a metal ladder bolted to the tunnel wall. Rusted and bent, but still usable. You first, Liam said, boosting Mira up. She climbed, slowly clutching Solin against her chest. Liam followed, pain shooting through his side where the wound hadn't fully healed. They emerged in a place that looked like a broken world. The fire zone. This was Tharvan's forgotten edge, where old factories once spewed flames into the sky, and now only ash and red dust remained. Most aliens avoided it, afraid of the toxic air and unstable ground. But Liam had been here before. It was the only place left that no one would think to search. They found a crumbled building near a cliff of black stone. Mira helped clear debris from the doorway while Liam forced the door open. Inside was an old maintenance bay, burnt, scorched but mostly intact. A few metal panels leaned like crooked walls. The floor was black with soot. This was part of an emergency heat shelter, Liam said. Long time ago, used by humans during flare storms. It's so hot here, Mira said, wiping sweat from her brow. Too hot for drones, Liam said. They overheat before they get this far. He closed the heavy door behind them and locked it with a rod. The heat pressed down on them, but for once it was safe. Later, as the sun sank behind the red hills, Mira tended to Liam's wounds again. Her glowing hands moved with care. I can't heal everything, she said, but the pain will fade. Pain's not the part that worries me, Liam muttered. It's what's coming next. Mira sat beside him. You think they'll still follow us? They want Solin, and people like that don't stop. She looked down at her child, now asleep in a bundle of cloth. He smiled again today, she whispered. First time in days. Liam smiled faintly. Told you he's a fighter. Then Mira asked a question Liam didn't expect. What would you do if this was your real child? Liam didn't answer right away. Then he said, I'd give him everything I never had, a safe home, A name that means something, a reason to grow strong. Mira nodded. Then maybe you already are his father. They spent the night hidden in the shelter. In the silence, Mira sang softly to Solon, a lullaby from her lost home. Liam listened, eyes closed. The melody was strange, but beautiful. It filled the burned-out room with warmth. For a moment, it felt like family. But before dawn, the peace shattered. A sharp ping echoed from outside. Liam jolted up. Motion sensor. He grabbed his old blaster and peeked through a crack in the wall. A black vehicle hovered above the ground just outside the fire zone border. Military model. Fast, silent. They found us, he whispered. Mira pressed Solon to her chest. Back entrance, Liam said. There's a hidden hatch in the floor. He kicked the dust aside, revealing a small metal door. It leads to the ash tunnels. They're unstable, but it's our only chance. Mira nodded, eyes wide with fear. Liam opened the hatch. Heat rose from below, but there was space to move. She climbed down first, holding Solon close. Liam turned back once more. He looked at the shelter. The place where they shared food, laughter, music, brief pieces of peace. Then he followed. Inside the ash tunnels, the air was thick and heavy. Liam's breath burned with each step. I don't know how far we can go in this, Mira said. Far enough, Liam said, voice strained. There's a ventilation shaft up ahead that leads into the desert. Once we're past the city's outer zone, no more drones, no more patrols. Mira said nothing, just kept moving. Then she stumbled. A rock shifted under her foot. Liam caught, but the ground cracked beneath them. Crash! They tumbled down into a lower chamber of the ash tunnels, coughing and bruised. Liam groaned. You okay? Mira nodded. Solon's fine, but from above, the sound of metal footsteps echoed. They were being followed. A new family, a new future. The ash tunnels were shaking. Every footstep above sent loose rocks falling from the ceiling. Mira held baby Solon tightly, her back pressed against Liam's chest as they crouched in the dark lower chamber. Liam's arms were wrapped around both of them, shielding them from falling debris. Can they see us down here? Mira whispered. Not yet, Liam answered. But they're close. We have to move now. A faint humming noise came from above. Drone, wings. The patrol teams had followed their trail. They weren't hunting anymore. They were closing in. Liam stood, groaning in pain. His side ached where the wound had opened again, but he didn't care. He reached out and helped Mira up. There's an old freight tunnel that leads out of the city. It was shut down after a fire decades ago. I studied it when I first arrived. You think it still works? She asked. I think it's better than staying here. The three of them moved through the narrow tunnel, walking over broken rails and cracked flooring. The deeper they went, the quieter the world became. Solon started, crying softly. Mira gently rocked him while humming, but Liam paused. He saw light ahead and heard voices. Guards, 2 of them, standing in front of a broken freight door. Liam pulled Mira back and whispered, Let me try something. He stepped into the light with his hands up. Don't shoot. I'm unarmed, he lied. The guards raised their weapons. Human? What are you doing here? I got lost. I'm a mechanic. I thought this tunnel led to the submarket, Liam said casually. One guard stepped forward. This area is off limits. Turn back. Liam took a slow step forward. Sure. I just need... Bam! A piece of the tunnel ceiling suddenly collapsed behind the guards, shaking the ground. Mira took the chance. She sprinted out of hiding, hurling a flash powder bomb from her cloak, something from her old healer's pouch. Flash! The guard stumbled, blinded. Liam didn't wait. He tackled one to the ground while Mira kicked the blaster out of the other's hand. Within seconds, both guards were out cold. Mira stared at Liam, breathing hard. Did you expect that to work? Nope, Liam said, wiping blood from his lip. But it did. They dragged the guards aside and opened the old freight door. A dusty tunnel stretched ahead, and at the very end, sunlight, freedom. The sun burned hot as they stepped into the open desert outside Tharvan's city limits. It was dry, harsh, endless, but it was free. Liam looked at Mira. There's a small settlement across the ridge. Old miners. Mostly humans. They don't care about royal blood or clan laws. You think they'll help us? She asked. They helped me once, he said. They'll help again. They started walking, slow and careful. Hours passed. The sun began to dip behind the rocky hills. Then finally, the old miner settlement came into view. Metal huts, smoke trails, and tall antennas scanning the sky. Liam smiled. We made it. Inside the settlement, a man named Griggs, an older human with a metal leg and a grumpy voice, greeted them. Took you long enough, Griggs said. Heard your signal hours ago. You saw my emergency flare? Liam asked. I see everything, kid. Even your limp. Griggs looked at Mira and Solon. His grumpy face softened just slightly. Who are they? My family, Liam said firmly. Griggs raised an eyebrow but said nothing. He waved them in. That night, inside a warm shelter with food and clean blankets, Mira sat beside Liam, feeding Solon carefully. He had stopped crying. His cheeks were fuller. He was even trying to smile. Mira turned to Liam. This is the first time I've felt safe since before he was born. Liam nodded. It's the first time I've felt needed since my mother died. She reached over and gently took his hand. You're more than needed, she said softly. You're chosen. He looked at her, confused. In my culture, she explained, when a child without protection bonds with someone not by blood but by action, that person becomes life father. Liam blinked. You mean? She smiled. Yes. Solon has chosen you. And so have I. Tears welled in Liam's eyes. He looked down at the tiny baby hand resting in his. I promise, he whispered. I'll never let anyone take you away, again. Far above, in the royal tower of Tharvan, a screen went dark. The commander turned to the Empress. They've escaped beyond reach. The Empress narrowed her eyes. Then let them go. If that child lives, and he remembers the man who protected him, she paused. Maybe the future won't need empires anymore.